Double pseudo global on the side of Nongshim means they can really mix it up. Let's jump out of the rift for game number 1 of our Saturday Showdown. Gonna freeze, Hana, do set.
You know what? I just completely blanked.
Oh. Nongshim, Hana, do set. Nongshim fighting! Now Condon didn't get one.
Oh my god.
It's alright, this is the first one.
It's my first of the week, and you said it, and oh my god, I'm gonna get fired for this.
Yeah, you've tilted G-Son already.
Oh my god.
It's not great, but it's okay, because...
You know what it was? You just said it so realistically. I thought
you expected the fans were gonna come.
I was waiting for the crowd.
Yeah,
you know, and I was like...
You don't need to butter me up.
I was looking over, I was like, what are the crowd doing? Oh wait, they're not even here.
All right. Well, it's all right. Game two, we can figure it out. We can see that Bulldog has not taken the grasp, so it is just going to be the regular Azir, Fleet Footwork being the most popular.
And it is going to be the lethality Varus, so clearly want to use that poke against the relative short range of Nongshim. Obviously, Nongshim have a lot of ability to gap close, but Zeri and Talia aren't the longest range champions themselves. And I think importantly, kind of going on your point before about the Maokai, even though it's not obviously going to be a farming Maokai paired with the center, winning lane, getting ahead, even as a support, makes such a big difference to how this champion can operate. Get an early access, in a winning lane. That isn't winning lane. But yeah, getting early access to items like a Trailblazer, getting that extra movement speed to move around the map, and also just being bulky as a result of your advantage makes such a big difference. And even though that early trade didn't go too well, you can see Bull very hard to match up into him as a Zeri.
Yeah, you can shoot from more Teemos away, and that it's just a little bit unfortunate. Level 2 going to be gained, so Quantum Freaks will take control back in this bottom lane. We're expecting them to have that for the majority of the time. It's going to be elsewhere on this map. We're going to have to focus, if you're looking for Nongshim, to find some sort of leads, because this bottom lane is going to be rough.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that you don't have a jungler who can bail you out till level 6. Like, your best option is really just for Sylvie to have unchallenged early game where he's able to farm up to 6, and then at that point you can try and contribute. I think coming bot before level 6 is very liable for you to lose the whole game after being counter-ganked, so...
It's also Cuz, right? He will take advantage. As, alright, Bull going to get engaged on here just a little bit as Andil was wandering into the enemy jungle.
You know, it's good, even when you're behind in a lane, taking those windows where you can trade and return and just try and whittle down Bull's health, even though it doesn't amount to too much.
Get a potion, you know, things like that.
Yep.
Always valuable. And as long as the wave is just underneath their turret, you know, they will be able to farm things up. Just try and bide their time until Sylvie can offer some assistance.
Oh.
Level 4 now for the Nocturne.
We actually saw Dundun going into the enemy jungle, the standard Udyr, clear the first couple of waves, head in there, but a little bit later than maybe you typically see it, and as a result, didn't find anything. Cuz already cleared through both sides of his jungle, and it looks like both junglers kind of just mirroring each other and how things kick off.
Yep, the full clear as Shifting Sands was used towards Calmy, so he's going to have to flash. Trying to get out of a bit of that danger as Dudu losing out on this trade. Has actually gone for the Conqueror this time around as well, just to try and do battle with this Udyr a little bit more. And we see with some of the other choices, you know, namely the Comet, maybe a little bit of extra poke damage early.
Yeah, it's not fun playing into Udyr.
No. Dudu is demonstrating that that is exactly right. And there is the knockup. Actually, Andil not able to stop it. Okay, the Ignite is down. He might just be dead. We'll at least have to flash, I think, but no, there's the flash forward, and he flashes anyway. Disaster! Zeri picks up the kill for first blood. And now Bull, he's walking after them, trying to catch up, but they're going to make it to safety. Cuz can't even help out. This wave does need to be shoved, but it's 2v2.
That was such a misplay from Andil in so many levels. Over-aggressive in a position he shouldn't have been in, but also, you know, the timing with the Rakan W. He actually W'd too early, so he still got hit by the knockup. And I feel like that really ended up casting him. The fact that he loses his flash as well, so painful. G, we're going to have cleanse up on top of that in a second, so really a lot of pressure going to be lost from this lane where they were winning quite handily in the early levels.
Yeah, no, they really were. Oh dear. So that is a little bit of a whoopsie. Is Dundun, is he, is this, okay. Okay, he's going to tank up a turret shot. Dudu going to go back home. The Dundun Dudu battle has been a big one, you know, it's been a big focus. It's great because of their names, but also if Dundun's able to actually win out, then this is not great news for Dudu, a player that we were really high on, honestly. Like the top side for Kwangdong Freaks in their winning streak, that was the aim of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I will say losing Flash obviously isn't great, but this is not a lane that you're going to be able to win comfortably as the Aatrox early levels, so
yeah.
As long as he doesn't die, I don't think it's too awful, but here, just kind of mistimed the W there, so he didn't end up dodging the knockup. I think the timing is a little bit tricky, to be honest. It's not like the easiest thing to do, but here, I think was like, okay, I'm going to flash like the final Q from the Zeri, but the right click ends up coming through and sealing the deal.
All right,
oh,
Bulldog.
You have no mana.
Yeah.
Now he has mana.
But he just wanted to just high five.
Just say I could have.
Yeah.
I could have done that.
Yeah, see what I can do? Now, about your business. Well, that's what's going to happen. Sylvie back in this mid lane. Because threatening here just a little bit. They are just going to exit just to the north. And everything's fine. Cuz still hasn't really made his presence known so much this game. We'll now be finding Sylvie as this battle for the Rift Scuttler is going to occur. Udyr doesn't exactly have the control, but Sylvie able to lock down that one. Weaver's Wall coming in as well as Dudu going to be blocked out from this one. Great Emperor's Divide though, and that is going to be the kill onto Call Me. Flash from Sylvie will lock down one of his own as Dundun. He's booping, but I don't know whether it's actually going to get him any kills, so instead he runs really quickly and is just going to be able to press a whole bunch of buttons and be fine. The Udyr way.
Yeah, and what started out like it could have been a mistake from Kwangdong Freaks, because
Oh, there's a twisted advance as Peter's going to be pushed back. Chains of Corruption is fantastic. I love the prediction from Bull. And is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Drink your potions, ladies and gentlemen. Hail of Arrows actually predicting the battle dance was really cute there from Bull. Just didn't quite work.
Those situations are ones where you can kind of say, I couldn't have really done anything more. You know, I feel like Andal and Bull did everything, put all that damage down, landed everything, and still weren't quite able to get the kill. Unfortunately, we'll get a plate as a reward, but nothing else on the back of that one. And we do have the Swiftness boots picked up by Andal early on. One of the big reasons this Maokai Sport's been so powerful is just movement speed abuse, because his W is short range, so getting in range is big. But here, I feel like this was like a mistake from Kwangdong Freaks, because Sylvie hits level 6 here and gets access to the ult, but Sylvie kind of splits off and is very late to re-engage. They kind of just let Call Me die in the meantime. And then after that, it's this 2v2 that they don't really want to opt into. Very weird passage of play. I think they could have maybe committed to the fight a bit earlier there, but Sylvie playing it very defensively.
He was. Bulldog did actually have a really nice ultimate though, so good to see that he is now on the board, has an assist to his name, and Dudu picking up the kill, kind of massive.
Yeah.
Because he was being abused a little bit by Dundun here towards the top side, who has gone for an Oblivion Orb first. I believe it was Dundun that decided to go for the Rift Maker on the Udyr first. I think he was one of the more experimental Udyr players, as Cuz is going to find a Glacial Prison, and speaking of Dundun, he's dead. Yep. He's real dead.
And you can see with the build that Dundun's gone, so Oblivion Orb to cut down the healing of the Aatrox, boots of Swiftness so he can stick on top of him more, but no armor. He just picked up that cloth armor, and you can kind of see Dudu's damage to him was really starting to get more significant on those trades, and a quick little punish from Cuz, and there we go, we have a second kill for the Aatrox, which is very significant, considering how bad the lane was going early on, very much stabilized.
Oh yeah. This, we could almost say, is in his favor now, especially with a 10 CS advantage. Dundun should be able to get over there and take at least the majority of the minions that are crashing. But this is lane successfully salvaged there by Cuz. Very nicely done. Nongshim going to take their moment, grab themselves this first dragon of the game. Going to be an Ocean. See how many Ocean Cloud Chemtechs we're going to have today. Yesterday it felt like every single dragon was that.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, Orc shows up and it's just there's Chemtechs everywhere. There's the Cloud. That one's the less bad, but it does mean that now we have the Chemtech Soul option.
I mean, okay, let's be real. We have the options of Infernal, Mountain, Hextech. It's
80% chance that it's Chemtech. I think 80% is what we need to dodge that.
Yeah.
But I think we can. We might be able to.
We'll do our best. You know, we're working hard here to try and make sure that happens.
Breaking chains and things like that. He looks like he's not exactly too worried about how the beginning of this lane has gone. Or at least, not quite the very beginning, but the middle part wasn't great.
Yeah.
Got some bubs being picked up here by Sylvie. He's already picked up the first 3. And so being able to bring out these Void Mites and take some control is certainly going to be important, as Cuz looking to try and get over here but doesn't quite get there in time. So therefore will just be the 6 going over to Nongshim. Some power in side lanes, things like that, certainly going to be very valuable, especially with the pseudo globals that they do have available. Speaking of which, in comes one towards this top side, and there is the flash out. Peter not quite there in time, though, as Jiwoo skates over the wall. They find the knock-up, and it's Jiwoo that collects it. The shutdown gold going to the Zeri.
You know, initially it looks like a play where it's like, okay, Dudu survives, this is great. Giving the gold over to the Zeri, worst case scenario, honestly. You'd rather just die to the knockdown and the Udyr. Jiwoo picking up a second kill there, and obviously is at a bit of a deficit in terms of CS from how the lane went. But now, remember, it's 6 Void Bubs. There was also the Demolish there, so get a plate very quickly. They actually have to burn the teleport just to try and defend the tower, but that's actually going to be a second plate as well. Okay, this Zeri's fed.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's certification mode time. Thankfully, we do have Wolf on the space, so he can let us know exactly when certification does occur. I'm feeling like this is a pretty good time for it, as Jiwoo being able to skate over like he's ganking.
Yeah.
That's the, we don't see that used this way on the Zeri that often.
Yeah, I mean, it's as well the fact that they didn't overcommit for the initial play. They knew they had the follow-up to come in. They let the tower damage reset and then just pick up the freebie. And this is going to feel uncomfortable for the side of Quantum Freaks. Having a Zeri getting even slightly fed is always a pretty
It's somewhat irksome, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
It's not completely doomed just yet. But more plates are going down, and with these Void Mites to assist, it was only a minute and a half, but
look at
2 plates go down immediately. It's ridiculous. Peter's just making cash.
You know, he hasn't actually used it bot lane at all, but he just knew that at some point he would turn up top, proc Demolish, turn up mid, proc Demolish, and rewarding his teammates with some plates on the back of it.
Yep. It's like, that's 320 team gold just from the rune. Absolutely nailed it, because they wouldn't have got that next plate. Well, she was showing me that they would have here on the top side, as he is almost able to take this one down as well. Extendo Beam flying on in. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to grade for that one.
I think the true damage bin might have got it. It's really high with 6, so...
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, it did actually go down on 1.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, it's all coming together.
It's all coming up, Zeri, and we know that that is a very dangerous thing.
Why is Varus, Lethality Varus solo lane against an Udyr?
Look, can I have an easier question?
I mean, you can clear the way, but that's definitely not the lane assignment I would go for. You know, I feel like things were going good for Quantum Freaks when it was Varus up against Zeri.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the last time we saw that. It's been a while.
I don't remember the last time Zeri was consistently in a specific lane.
That's true.
Finally coming back to the mid lane now, but did spend a lot of time top. They got themselves a bunch of plates, and you can see Nongshim now have, you know, equalized the gold in comparison to Kwangdong Freaks. And that was after some decent laning that had occurred. Of course, you can see that Bull pretty far ahead, and so is Dudu still. As Colmy trying to throw some rocks at Dudu here. He's sidestepping quite nicely. Cuz moving on over, they will find this control ward. It looks like Rift Herald is on the minds of the Kwangdong Freaks at least. Yeah,
a lot of gold we saw from the plates there, and Zeri being the main recipient as we saw. Dragon up soon. Don't know the soul yet, but you can guess it's probably a good one. We hope we're not getting Chemtech.
80% Chemtech.
Yeah.
20% good one, yeah.
Those are good odds, honestly.
Yeah, pretty good.
Considering how recent games have been going, you'll take those.
I've even gotten to the point where, like, my coping mechanism has been that Chemtech isn't that bad. That's actually been how I've dealt with it.
All right, I won't take that.
Yeah.
I won't take that.
Yeah.
Not while I'm here. You know, maybe some other casters will allow you to say that and maybe not take issue with it. Just like, okay, it's the play-by-play. Just let him say that. Move on. Not me. I will reject that assertion.
And you're the one that always brings all the Chemtechs. It's just a little bit sad, isn't it?
I am cursed.
Yeah.
Oh, much.
See what I said, 80%. Okay, Paranoia going to come on down here as right into the backline goes Sylvie. He's right on top of Bull. Not a whole lot he can do about it. And he's going to have to flash the wall. Does get out of the way, but Jiwoo is dead as well. Colmy takes down Bulldog. And Sylvie has at least continued to zone out the Varus. So a 1-for-1 is going to be the trade. And it's a dragon apiece. Kwangdong Freak's probably going to be pretty happy with how that one went.
Absolutely. I feel like, honestly, Jiwoo making a pretty big error there. Trying to chase down Andal, greeting for the kill, and not playing for the fight. Ends up being caught up by this Aatrox, who is getting stronger and stronger, and did pick up the kill from that Zeri as well.
And now Colmy also, he managed to get the kill onto Bulldog in that fight. So he is at least a benefactor there. We'll see how much he can get done on this turret towards the bottom of the lane. Let's have a look at this again, as Emperor's Divide onto 2 is a fantastic start.
Yeah, and I think here, Jiwoo gets knocked back, tries to chase down the Maokai, but Cuz with a really nice Q flash to secure the Zeri. And I think Nongshim, despite the fact that they took out the Azir, lost a lot of momentum once the Zeri goes down. Really, I feel like this composition, as the fight goes on, it's the Zeri being the one who's going to have the follow-through to turn it from just, you know, that initial Nocturnal, maybe a kill there, into a full team fight win.
Yeah, no, Jiwoo needs to be alive at the end of a fight.
Yeah.
It's, everybody else can sacrifice themselves for the Zeri. That's basically how it's going to go. And so he cannot be overextending, looking for cheeky kills and things like that. I think that Nongshim were just feeling themselves in that moment, right? Feeling like the momentum was in their favor. And now it is moving out of that completely. Cuz going to be able to throw Shelly into this outer turret in mid. That is going to make that one pretty close to killable. Sundisk falls down, but you can see, like, there's no turrets that have been taken by Nongshim yet. So that top lane outer turret was first turret blood going over to Bulldog, actually, as far as the local gold was concerned. So this is Azir feeling pretty good. Nash's Tooth online. Going to be building towards that. Leandri's next, and that is going to be a big spike when those two items have both been completed.
Yeah, definitely important when you have this lethality Varus and also this lethality Aatrox, that you have that reliable AP damage from the Azir. So definitely valuable getting gold on that. And now looking for another bot lane gank.
Yep, that's going to be Paranoia used. I have a feeling Dudu's dead. He will be knocked up, and there it is. They just take down the turret as well. Bull now has an opportunity to try and lock down this turret as well, but Seismic Shove and all of the rocks and things like that is going to mean that that's going to be impossible, and Teleport was prepared by Dindin. So cross-map impossible. Nicely played by Nongshim. Yeah,
really nice cover. You know, they once again go for the Jiwoo Peter gank in the bot lane. Not really anything Judu could do in that situation, and then Talia just able to one-shot the wave, teleport to defend top. They don't lose anything on the back of that play, and only gain. And now
Weaver's Wall. Bull in a little bit of trouble here as Chains of Corruption will come on through. Nature's Grasp is there as Peter looks for his opportunity, but he's going to get slowed down. And now Cuz they're on the defense, so Bull not even having to use his cleanse there. His flash was not even back off cooldown. Just held his ground.
I think that's why they had the confidence to go for that play. It made sense when you look at the lack of summoners for Bull, but unfortunately Colmy doesn't connect the Seismic Shove, and Jiwoo didn't have cleanse, wasn't able to get out of that Varusult, wasn't able to chase down Bull. Yeah, I'm not sure there's much we really need to add to this play.
Yeah, let's count the things that Dudu could have done.
He could have just not gone out of bed this morning.
Aha!
That's how he could have avoided this gank. Just, you know, never showed up.
Call in sick.
Yeah.
Call in sick could have been the way. Yeah, that was nothing that Dudu could have done about that whole situation.
Nothing
he is
could
still
do
an Aatrox. Yeah, yeah. Puns. But Jiwoo is going to be the benefactor once again. So he's got 2 items. The Renan's Hurricane is his second item of choice. And it's only going to get worse from here when the Zeri starts to build a bit more damage.
Yeah. Haven't missed her, really.
No, it was kind of okay. without her.
I was very okay without her.
Because I like metas that have, you know, a lot of priority on Callista and stuff like that. I feel like you get a little bit more action throughout the game. You see supports having a lot more fun. Zeri just brings you into that game state of inevitability, and they're less fun. This one, not quite at inevitability stages just yet. It's 20 minutes, it's a 1,000 gold lead for Nongshim. But there are a lot of tools on Quandong Freak's side. And I think Bulldog and Cuz could really orchestrate some team fights for the Quandong Freaks to excel in. Dudu's follow-up also going to be very, very dangerous. As Nongshim considering starting off this Drake.
Oh, there's a TP coming in.
Yeah. The flank angle for the Aatrox, that's a scary one, but they know exactly what's going on. Nature's Grasp will catch out one, and it's Dundun. So he can tank a bit, but not that much. The quickness diving into the backline is now Jiwoo trying to utilize the lack of vision on the side of the Quandong Freaks, but Bulldog's found him. Empress Divide after the flash, and they just execute the Zeri. Colmy not going to be able to get the seismic shove onto Cuz either, and that was a disaster for Nongshim.
Such a great angle for the TP to come in. The ward nearly expired, and Judu comes in on the flank. It really forced Nongshim into an uncomfortable position. And the thing is, you're the ones with the Nocturne composition. You're the ones who want to be engaging, and it felt like they were on the back foot from the start. You see the TP comes here, and they're kind of forced to back away up through this choke point. So much value for the Maokai ultimate, and they just layer the CC on Dundun here so he doesn't get to play. And then by the time the re-engage comes in, sure, they manage to get some damage. But once again, they're chasing this Maokai, and Jiwoo just gets dispatched. It feels like Quandong Freaks have had a great eye for when they can take out the Zeri, and Nongshim are a bit too focused on killing Maokais.
Yeah, and Sylvia's been doing a lot of like drive-buying, you know, and then out of the fight, his health bar not actually utilized. I think it may not have actually been enough to save Jiwoo because he was sort of solo ulted by Bulldog and then
like
torn to shreds.
Playing for a pick in a team fight.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that.
And it's not exactly the greatest. I feel like Zeri really likes to have bodies in front of her to just create as much chaos as possible so that she can get all of that damage down.
And that's the thing, with Dundun basically dead on the back of that initial damage, and Sylvie just heading to, I guess, the Bahamas or something. There wasn't that front line to offer the protection. Yeah, I think Nongshim really struggling with the execution of this composition, and Quandong Freaks definitely on the same page right now.
Certainly are. Baron up and available as Mega Blast Cone going to be coming through. That is a big old wall.
Well,
it was taken down.
Yep. Didn't last long.
No, not exactly the greatest. Bulldog and Arndil just wandering around the river for now. Sylvie, thinking about an opportunity, does not manage to spell shield the kitten. It's fine though. All right, this outer turret on the top side of the map. The next thing that Nongshim are looking for, Nature's Grasp going to come down there as Seismic Shove will be stopwatched. Really nicely done, but it's not going to save Bulldog. He does get a really nice Emperor's Divide, but it's not really meaningful.
And this is where Nongshim have looked best in this game, is just finding these picks. They've done that well, but I feel like they're not really doing a great job of transitioning it, because they'll get this, but they're not in a position to really go for the Baron, and they actually lose mid-tier 1.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like early in the game they were covering their picks a bit better, but again, it's kills on bad, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're not really building up a significant advantage, and losing the mid-tier 1 is more impactful than a singular kill on a Bulldog.
And Cuz has really not been doing all that much is what it feels like, but he has 2 really big items, and he is exceptionally tanky.
Yeah, he has got a crazy amount of CS. This is another one of these plays where it's like, I don't really think there's much you can do. The fact that the fear obviously goes to the stasis, you're just kind of dead as soon as you come out. But yeah, if you actually track, normally you could expect a Nocturne to lead in farm.
Yeah.
But Cuz doesn't just have high farm compared to Sylvie, but pretty high farm for a jungler in general, especially a tank jungler. This is a very farmed Sejuani, only being like, what, 30 CS behind the Aatrox and the Azir?
He's like 10 behind Dudu.
Yeah.
Dundun, sorry.
It's a very farmed Sejuani, very tanky early already. And the thing is, you know, Zeri isn't the best at shredding tanks. You can even see from the build as well. You know, often you see champions sometimes go 3rd or 2nd item LDR. the Zeri's not going to have LDR for a while.
No. Really wants to have the Bloodthirster so you can do a bit more battle. You can understand the priority on it because it is an important item, but still does mean, like you say, armor penetration going to be a difficult one, as that is a fantastic Arctic Assault from Cuz. Not only is he farmed, but he's got the hands. That is going to deny the engage from Peter.
And even if the engage happened,
yeah,
I'm not convinced that it was a leading strategy. Guys, you can engage on the Sejuani, who has exhaust, by the way, with the spell book.
Got it.
Yeah, you know, you could probably a little bit grateful that they got interrupted, so Peter can kind of just walk away like, yeah, I'm fine with the situation.
My goodness. Well, Sylvie now has his Rook Urn completed. So there is that. It's going to be a pretty tanky Nocturne as the game goes on. Should still be able to at least 1v1 Bull if he finds him in a backline or something like that. And Cuz just really wants to experiment with all these new items that he's picked up. Wants to find an opportunity to use them. You can see they're camping in this brush. 10 seconds until the Drake does come out. Not going to be able to find Peter there as the Arctic Assault's over. And Jiwoo, looking tankier, does now have that Bloodthirster completed. So 3 items for the Zeri. That is big news. Condom Freaks with full control of this Drake area. And alright, yeah, Weaver's Wall going to come down. Nature's Grasp coming in. Peter looking for that flank angle. Can they actually get anything done here, though, is the question. Peter dives over. That is going to be the steal on the Drake, but can they win the fight? Dundun is dealing with Dudu, and now they've taken out the tree. Sylvie is burning, but he's still alive. And Nongshim, they can just back away if they would like to. Still a few cooldowns left up and available here for the Kwangdong Freaks. So not going to risk it.
And this time, Dudu teleported. I'm pretty sure that ward is on the exact same pixel as last time.
Yeah.
But Dundun was there to watch him, to track him, to block him from coming in for the flank, and the difference that made night and day. So Kwangdong Freaks not able to really find the advantage there. Andal goes down, they don't get the dragon. I'm pretty happy with that.
This is so incredibly close, though.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. It's 1.5k, nothing really in it.
Yeah, that ward is literally the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same pixel, yeah.
But Dundun, I just think this is what you need to do when the flank's being threatened. He comes up, he's like, get out of here, you Aatrox, don't even go near my backline. And as a result, Jiwoo and Call Me are unchallenged. They're kind of just pumping damage in, and yes, Sylvie does just survive, so you could argue this could have been a 1-for-1. But at the end of the day, they got the dragon, they traded a lot better than they did in the previous fight, and Nongshim pretty happy with the outcome.
Yeah. And now you've got Jiwoo. He's caught up in farm almost completely up against this Varus. And as the game goes on, the longevity of the Zeri is going to be a little bit higher than that of the Varus. Neither AD carry had to use their flash as well, so both of them somewhat prepared for a fight that could be coming up.
You know, what you said is completely correct.
Yeah.
But then we had that game where Viper played it into the Smolder and just kind of defied
I don't think Viper is allowed to be used as an example for
fair.
what a champion should normally do.
That's valid.
All right. Sylvie actually going to avoid the smite interrupting the spell shielders. There is the wall, but no, he gets pulled back. And it's not going to work out now. Dundun, he's running for the hills. There's the Nature's Grasp. Doesn't get a lot of value as now Peter's on that flank angle. And you can see the Zeri wants to find a way in. They want to save this Udyr, but it's not going to work out. Sylvie and Dundun just lying on the floor. And now these theoretical flankers possibly caught out themselves. See whether Jiwoo can actually keep himself alive. There's the flash. He's going to have to flash out. There's the ulti as well. As Andal, once again, the target, the Emperor's Divide, is just too good. And the Bloodthirster not enough to keep him up. And Kwangdong Freaks, I think this should at least be a Baron. They might even be able to grab the ace with a kill on to Call Me here, and there it is.
So well played. A beautiful shuffle from Bulldog. And that final bit, the flash slow from Bull. And then you see the little sapling.
Yeah.
Bottle up and get this slow to secure the kill. Kwangdong Freaks, we were saying the game was close. Not anymore after that team fight. And here, I think Sylvie actually should have tried to get an ult onto like Andal in the river. They had a blue trinket available, so if someone could blue trinket like the Maokai, maybe he could ult his way out. In the end, he ends up getting caught, dragged to the wrong side of the wall and dies. And then it's worst case scenario, not only do you lose your jungler, but Dundun gets caught here as well and then tries to go back for the stun. A lot of rough decisions in this situation. And then here, you know, I just feel like Peter and Jiwoo, you know that you've lost your jungler and your top laner. Wait for them to start Baron. That's when you have the best odds of winning a fight 3v5. But by allowing themselves to get engaged on, here they just ruin their chances of it happening.
Yeah, and Bulldog just catching them with the Flash Emperor's Divide perfectly in the choke point as well. Could not have been a better opportunity. And it's been great play from Bulldog all game long, honestly. This guy's Azir has been absolutely fantastic.
Yep. Found that good shuffle early on the Zeri as well. Just has such a good eye for it. And now with the Baron in hand, we'll see what Quantum Freak's gonna look to do. I feel like the goal for the... Oh!
Okay. Colmy sets up the wall.
Oh, and they Nocturnal as well.
I feel like that was Sylvie saying, no, don't watch.
Yeah, they didn't want anyone to see. We as the observers obviously can see, so, you know, won't be hiding that one. And now, you've just lost 2 of your global tools, and the enemy team has Baron.
Yeah, 100% inner turret should be going down here. As now, who is ganking who? Dudu's going to flash his way out. So I think recognizing that he was the one being ganked. But still, his base, like the base is just going down here.
Sylvie for Nexus trade?
Yeah, I think maybe Dudu's realizing that perhaps he shouldn't actually be scared of the Nocturne with a lot of magic resist, as now Nexus turrets are being shot at. Jiwoo does make his way back, but Nexus turret number 1 is down.
And they didn't even get the Aatrox.
Yeah, I would say that this has not been a great trade thus far.
You know, I think we should leave it to the space to analyze that one. I'm not sure we, in the moment, are ready to call whether that's a good trade or not. I think it needs further analysis. Maybe they can do a breakdown on whether that was weird for Nongshim.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because then we won't have to talk about it. Bull throwing around some arrows here, as I don't think Soul Point is something that Nongshim really needs to fight for right now. Probably want to wait for some of these ultimates to be back up and available, namely the Paranoia.
Yeah. You know, I think
Chemtech Soul.
If they weren't going to fight for their bot inhibitor or Nexus Tower, then I don't think they're fighting for a Chemtech Dragon. And back to farming, I think, is the goal here. And still, I mean, you look as well at Cuz's items now. The Randuin's coming in, as well as the Thornmail that's already been picked up. Still nowhere near an LDR for this Zeri. It's feeling problematic.
Yeah, I would say Jiwoo has definitely stagnated as far as this build is concerned. I think he's sitting on a bit of gold. But Dindin, he's running away. Cuz, look at that health bar. That is just ridiculous.
That is a very tanky Sejuani.
Yeah. Okay, Peter is going to be hit by a cat. And now he might be in trouble. Bull chasing him down. There's the Paranoia. Bull may have overstepped, though, as ulti comes in from Jiwoo. Now just throwing this electricity into Dudu. Okay, Peter trying to cause an issue here as Nongshim. So far, they've done the most damage, but they haven't actually found too much more. That's a great ulti onto Call Me, but no follow-up there for Cuz. As Quantum Freaks, I think this is the most cool, calm, and collected I've seen them over the last couple of weeks. They just push them out, and they focus on taking control of the map.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvie, it's hard for Bull to punch through him, but Bull just kind of goes to half health, and it's like, okay, well, you're not killing me either.
Yeah.
And Cuz is just such a brick wall in this game. Just kind of stands there, and instantly Nongshim are discouraged from trying to play. They just walk away. They're like, no, we can't do anything to the Sejuani.
And yeah, Cuz is actually a brick wall. He really is. I don't think he's going to die. I think that aces are almost impossible here for Nongshim.
I would be interested.
They're going to have to kill around him.
I want to see the upper limit, you know. I feel like some players would like really push the limits of what the champion can do, like dive in against 5 people and be like, okay, let's see what you got. But I don't think Cuz is going to make that mistake. He's kind of happy just winning the game.
Yeah.
But for science, I would definitely be interested. And the thing is, I just feel like the Kaenix shield is so big, it stops Call Me from really being able to cut through it. And we have Jiwoo's 4th item is Infinity Edge, so still no LDR.
Right.
You know, I'd be interested as well, because a lot of Zeris will go Conditioning Overgrowth secondary. And then because Overgrowth gives them health, they don't go cut down. So I don't know for sure, but there's a decent chance that Jiwoo doesn't even have cut down. That's like the standard for Zeri. They normally go last stand. In which case, you got nothing helping you cut through this Sejuani.
Yeah, no, that means that Cuz is definitely going to be alive, and we need to find a way for Jiwoo to shoot Bulldog and Bull.
Yeah.
And I guess theoretically Dudu, but he is a tank.
Yeah, full lethality tank.
Yeah, full lethality tank there on the top side.
Just
of the
Aatrox things.
Yeah, very standard, very normal. All right, the Baron going to be up in 20 seconds time. That should be the next spot for a fight, as Super Minions still moving up this bottom lane for another minute. Looks like it's going to be Colmy. It's going to go down there and sort out that wave. Does have teleport, does have Weaver's Wall. So should be there in a moment's notice. Quantum Freak's just trying to make it as dark as possible.
Yep.
That is going to be a success.
And the thing is, because you have such a tanky jungler, you know, Baron is a lot less risky when you have someone who can just soak the damage from it for a significant amount of time, if not indefinitely. And that's why Nongshim really have to be cautious about potential Baron being started. Oh.
Yep, the engage onto Dundun, but he's just not that tanky. Okay, Paranoia does come on down here. Onto Bull they go. Peter actually finds the knock-up. Dundun has already fallen down, but Jiwoo's been singled out, skates over the wall. Emperor's Divide used this time onto Colmy, and cut apart is the Zeri. Sylvie and Peter wondering where the rest of their team went. I think they're going to go back to their fountain and watch their Nexus explode.
The way that fight played out, Quantum Freaks just literally let Bull go. They just said, you know what, you can 1v2 the Nocturne and the Rakan, we'll kill everyone else.
Yeah.
And the way it pans out is, yeah, Bull goes down, you got him, but the rest of your team are dead, and now it's a Nocturne Rakan to try and save the game, and I don't think odds are in their favor.
I don't think it's looking all that good here as Peter finds one of the knockups onto Arndil, his favorite target in these fights. And finally, Bulldog just decides that he's going to send the Sand Soldiers after them. One Nexus turret was in their way this entire time. 7,000 gold the advantage, and Quandong Freaks, they will find a victory in game one of the series. We'll see whether this is enough to get them out of that slump after the losses against Bro.
Yeah, and I feel like it's got to feel a bit frustrating for Nongshim because they had good moments in the early game, but weren't really able to translate the Zeri. There was no Zeri moment that came through. Never able to cut through the Sejuani. And Quantum Freaks, despite some hiccups, really stabilized. And
yeah,
considering we saw a week of them just getting bopped by Bro, good to see them back in a better position.
And it was, we have to remind everyone, 3-game series every single time up against Bro for Quandong Freaks. So it's not over just yet, but this is looking much better because I felt like the stability was there. It wasn't... There was a lot of sporadic plays made in that Bro series. I felt like Bro was the team that was able to be a little bit more cool, calm, and collected. This was inevitability is what it felt like. And because you might see not a lot of damage numbers, but the amount of the tankiness numbers, I want to see the tankiness numbers.
I want to see damage like mitigated, like, you know, how much damage you would have took if you were the tankiest person.
I want the bar for like damage cared about.